cord to this computer, and I'm out of here.
All right, good morning again. I am going to read something to you from this famous person's book, my book, and it's from July 30th, if anybody wants to look it up who has the book. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to listen to some words, and then we'll have a minute of silence, which Jackson will bring us out of with a song, and then we will do a treatment, and then he'll finish it with the song, and then I will introduce our guest speaker, which I'm excited about. So take a breath. Never surrender consciousness to circumstances. Many of us are experiencing the effects of circumstances in the world. We have surrendered our consciousness to facts, not truth, and that's truth with a capital T. We have surrendered our consciousness to fear. Ernest Holmes wrote, "Begin to act from your dominion. Declare the truth by telling yourself there is nothing to be afraid of, that you no longer entertain any images of fear. Our truth is God is all there is. God is both love and law. The law will attract to us whatever we focus on. So let's stop focusing on fear and focus on love."
I am part of the great mind of God, and God is all that I am. God is love, God is peace, God is life itself, and God is all that I am.
How grateful I am to know this, that God is all that I am. And so I celebrate this with every fiber of my being. And I know that God in me, God around me, God in everyone, God is absolutely all there is. And in this wonderful awareness, we allow ourselves to be open and receptive to whatever comes through for us this morning in our Sunday gathering. I know that this service can change us in some way that is positive and uplifting, empowering, inspiring, and how grateful we are for this wonderful tool of technology to be able to continue to meet as a spiritual community. It's all God, it's all good, and so it is.
God is love, God is peace, God is life itself, and God is all that I am.
Thank you, Jackson. I want us to say this affirmation. I forgot I was going to use it for just before I did my treatment, but say this together. The expansiveness of freedom fills me as I allow the beauty of spirit to touch my every moment with love, peace, and positive connections to others. And I just realized that this this affirmation is perfect for us to step into today's message. I want to share with you something that was written by our speaker this morning in the Science Mind magazine. And I'm not exactly sure when it was, but as I've told you, Barbara Leger started the center in the Ukraine. And this is what she wrote. As the founder, this has been the most amazing and challenging professional experience of my life. To reach beyond what seemed to be possible and have metaphysics be a viable option in this very dualistic world of atheism or orthodoxy. It requires more clarity, trust, courage, willingness, acceptance, and dedication than I ever knew I had. In October 2001, when applying to become a chartered member of the then UCRS, we filed a list of more than 50 people who were willing to become our first participants. At the top of the list of their names and numbers was this statement: "We, the undersigned residents, solemnly promise to contribute to the further education of Barbara Leger. And so it is clear, I have been educated right alongside my students." Now we have 14 practitioners, with 11 students paneling this September at our conference. We are a regional center with 5 teaching centers and an average of 100 students in accredited classes each semester, and practitioners are being trained as leaders in each center. Our leadership team of volunteers is expanding and taking more ownership, and we have an excellent youth program called Laws of Life, bringing values-based choices to young people. And they also have a powerful and magical New Thought global community gathering on the shores of the Black Sea in Crimea. The year that this article was written, the theme of that New Thought gathering was a new reality, the gift of transformation. And boy, has our world transformed. So help me welcome. What I want you to do is make sure you're on speaker view so that you can see her and the things that she posts. And so with our her talk, From Chaos to Order, the challenging and needed conditions, birthing a new reality, let's welcome Reverend Barbara Leger. So take it away, Barbara.
Thank you so much. Gosh, thank you so much for inviting me to be with you today. And thanks for finding that. I've forgotten about that. I don't even remember what it was that got it on that reading but that I wrote. But honestly, it's really true. It's almost 19 years. On September 11th this year, it'll be 19 years that our work in Ukraine is flourishing. And I'll just say something about it, and then I'll just go into the presentation that I created for you today. So on September 11th, 2001, I arrived at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Ukraine as the towers were coming down in New York. And I knew, I didn't know about that until I got to my guest family where I lived for the first 6 months. And then we realized what had happened, and my son was flying that day on the East Coast. And, and the telephone system was not like any of our telephone systems. You had to get an operator to make a phone call and all of that business. And so I couldn't find my son, but I called my home church, which was Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, and found the minister. And, we worked and prayed together for peace on earth and to respond correctly to this situation. And the next day I was interviewed on the radio and the television and on the newspapers. And I was one of maybe 4 Americans in this city where I was. And what I discovered, and the reason I'm telling you this, is what I discovered was that I actually believe in peace. I actually not only just believe in it, I know it is right here, right now, because there's only one thing happening, and that's God. And God is that, whatever you want to describe it as or call it or whatever, but I see it as perfect peace, where everything is in perfect order. And that peace is within every single person, not like a raisin in a bun, but in every cell, in every part of us, every nanosecond, everything. And if that's true, and if that's true for me and it's true for all of us, then it must be true for everybody. And therefore, those things that we call bad and we separate ourselves from, I'm learning, as I know you are, that's all God too, in an indescribable, ununderstandable way. And that is the biggest challenge. And for me, I had to go far away. I had to leave my house, give my dog to my son and cry for days, and give my Buick Park Avenue to my daughter and leave so that I could be unchained in my mindset, because I was so programmed here. I didn't know that's what I was doing. I thought I was going to bring peace and love to Ukraine. Nobody even remembered or knew the word Ukraine hardly. It was all Russia. And in my first 2 weeks or 3, my host family, my interpreter there said, "How nice you came here to teach us about peace and love. It would be really nice if you had some. It would be really nice if you had some." And he was right. I was there on a mission to give something that I didn't really own. I didn't really know how it worked. I wanted it. I could check on all the boxes of every book I read. I could go, yeah, that's true. I believe that. Yep. Oh, boy, this is a great book. Right alignment. But I wasn't, behind the mask, I wasn't living it. And I didn't even know there was a mask. I was just a great, enthusiastic practitioner turned minister person. But I was a little farm girl, a pioneer in my spirit. And so I went there from that pioneer spirit, taking the gift that I knew was mine, but didn't have words for. And so today, in this theme of unchained or untethered spirituality, and the CSL title for today is the Tao of Freedom, I realized that I chose freedom, but I didn't know that's what it was. It looked like I chose challenge. It looked like I chose pain and suffering. It looked like I chose discomfort. It looked like I chose, what were you thinking? It looked like I chose, you're kidding, right? I mean, there's no hot water from May till September. That you're just kidding me, right? Oh, I mean, just the things that you go through when you step outside your comfort zone. I was so outside my comfort zone. And so today, I want to bring to you really my understanding of what freedom is. The Tao of freedom, for me, it's the ability to be where I am now and not struggle to hold on to it, or to not need to be right, or to be teachable, or to listen more than I talk, and to accept more than I try to direct or control. I am a changed person, and I still struggle not to tell my son or his wife what to do with their children. I am a changed, transformed person, but I still see when I justify things for myself. I still see when my brain goes, well, don't talk about that. That's not very. just stay in this spiritual place. Don't talk about that hard stuff. No, we need to talk about that hard stuff. So in this time that we're living in now in America, it is so powerful and so, juicy, because chaos is needed for change to happen. Because if you just keep in the nice, cozy little box that you've built for yourself all these years, what is it? It's a house on a hill, it's a job, it's a handsome man, it's a whatever, this amount of money, all that stuff. That's not it. And we all know that in our heart of hearts, don't we? We do know. When, I could talk for 3 weeks about this topic easily without stopping hardly. So please don't let me do that. So I want to just share with you a couple of screen images that I can speak to today. And Angelica was gracious enough to let me do a share screen. I don't know how good I am. I've done it before, but let's just see. Just bear with me while I get to the home page. What I'm going to show you first is where I live in my heart. I discovered on the day that I arrived that even though I couldn't find my son for a day and a half, because the phones there were no cell phones. He didn't have internet on his phone. It was a different world. I kept getting disconnected every 30 seconds from the operator. I discovered that I believed in peace. When I went to those interviews, I told them all, do not make enemies out of this. Do not. And everybody was scared. They thought World War III was coming. And I said, no, peace is coming. This is the beginning of peace. Now I'm an old radical. I am kind of old, and I actually was very radical. Now I'm a little less radical, but I planned for that. When I was 33, I told my kids, who were already terrified of how radical I was, I said, hey, I'm going to get a little more radical. And they said, no, please don't do that. I said, well, I have to, because when I get old, the tendency is to move to the right. So when I move to the right, I want to end up just a little to the left of middle. So that was me. So, and that still is me. So I want to show you that, I believe in peace so much. If I can just figure out how to get to my home page. There we go. Do you see that beautiful image? Now, I took this picture on the day I was leaving Salt Lake City after I did a little 9-month interim ministership there a few years ago, just to give myself a sabbatical. And I was drawn to take this dandelion picture, but do you see what's in the center of the dandelion? Can you see that? It's sort of like one of those ink blots. But what I see, well, it could be an embryo, but I see a peace dove with the head turned back and the fanning of the tail. This is my home page. This is my home base. This is what I practice. I practice choosing to live here in this peace. And then I'm going to show you all my things so that I'm not distracted by trying to figure out all the technology. But I just want you to let that peace find its place in you. Just look at it for a second, or maybe 10 seconds in silence. And know that this is you too. You're held in this grace. Look at all those little spots where the web connects us all. I love this image. All right, so, and then peace, by putting peace first, we give ourselves the opportunity to respond and not react to life's challenges. And it's a program that has been born through me, through our ministry in Ukraine. Peace First is a training program now that we offer in 5-minute little instant trainings to 3-week classes to 3-day workshops. But this is my home base. It's where my life is dedicated to this now. And what I understand is that when it looks like chaos, there's something else that wants to happen. Now, there has never been a more clear expression of chaos in our country than the one that I see right now, that we're experiencing right now. We have epidemics of global proportion in our lives. Medical, health epidemics, political epidemics, race epidemics, freedom epidemics, the lack of freedom, the fears, an epidemic of fear, an epidemic of separation, and at the same time, peace is trying to happen. That's peace's moment. So through the chaos, we must remember that there is a higher order, and that higher order is called peace. And the last image I want to share with you is this. This is the brand new logo of our brand new second nonprofit that we've launched in Ukraine. This one is being registered this week, and it is a youth and family educational, but it's for all adults and all people, actually. And this is our philosophy, that this world is us together. This is the one world we live on, the one planet we live in. This is all of the people with all of the light. It's so radiant, it's so bright, it's so destined for peace. And we, all of us, we are how it happens. We must learn to stand for the future. We must learn to be the future that we want to see, as Gandhi said. Be the change we want. We must stand for that change. This moment of chaos shows us that we can transform the chaos to order if we stand for what matters to us. If we stand for the principle of peace, it will be revealed. But if we wait for somebody else to come along and do it for us, it won't happen, because they won't. They're too busy trying to figure out how to do it for themselves. It's really up to us. Freedom is the principle. Peace is the principle. And a principle is a unifying field of truth. A unifying, where we're already all connected, where it is pulsing like this huge web of life, just pulsing, to have us realize that we are born for this, that each of us is born to give the gift that we have. We are not here by accident. We are here on purpose. I want to read just 3 little verses of a poem. If I can do it without weeping, it'll be wonderful. And I'm putting it in the chat right now so that you can look for the whole poem at your leisure. It's written by Langston Hughes, an African-American poet, and it's called "Let America Be America Again." It's a very long poem, but I'm going to read just the beginning of it. And the end is fantastic too. So, let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plain, seeking a home where he himself is free. Parenthetically, America was never America for me. Let America be the dream that the dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great, strong land of love, where never kings connive nor tyrants scheme that any man be crushed by one above. It was never America to me. Oh, let my land be a land of liberty, crowned with no false patriotic wreath. But opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this home land of the free. This is a time in every field of endeavor and in every country that I know, and I worked all around the world before I became a minister. And this is the time where our world is united. It's all connected. It's showing us that we're all connected, that we are one pulsing reflection and emanation of infinite possibility at our level of understanding of it. And therein lies the opportunity for us. What is our level of understanding of this most fruitful time? Can we see this time not as a terror or an abomination or a punishment or a whatever words we've had for it? Can we see it differently? Can we know that this is an epic moment that requires us to be a we, all of we of the world? Now, if it were true that there's one life, one God, one presence, one power, one divine reality, if it were true, and that we all are born from it and for it, we're all made from itself, then it's axiomatic that we're all connected to each other, right? And if we could imagine that that's so, long enough to seep into our mind and past the comfort zones of the pillars that we've built around us to protect us from the things we're scared of. God knows I had thousands of things that protected me when I went to Ukraine. I just didn't know them. I didn't know I had them. I just thought I was a good person going to go do a good thing. And I was. That's really true. But we here, the undersigned 50 people of the city of Cherkasy, do commit. We commit to the further education of Barbara Leger. I mean, when I read that, it wasn't what I asked them to write. I asked them to say, would you be willing to be part of this community that's going to study science of mind so I can give you my gift? But no, the gift in the translation allowed the real truth to come through. They were there to contribute to my education. And it was horrendous education. It was so hard. But it was so compelling. I couldn't stop, and I still can't stop. I can't. It's like it's got me. So what I know is true for all of us, for the whole planet, is that we all have a gift to give. Now, it's said in Science of Mind, God can only do for us what God can do through us. I'm sure we've all heard that thousands of times, right? Well, what does that mean? It means that if I want the world to live at peace, then I have to. I have to bring it forth in my own life. That means I have to stop judging all the people who don't do it my way. That means I have to stop being critical of the things that I would do differently. That is hard as hell, as you all know. because we all have a piece of that process. But it's time to give it up because it doesn't serve us. Is it easy? No, we have to change. This new organization that we're creating in Ukraine now, the whole thing is devoted to the momentum and the potential of this moment. We must learn, as adults, as the older people, we must learn how to step back and be the kind of adults that young people can step into in an expanded way and not be telling them how they should do it based on what we know with all of our experience. We have to learn from them. We have to listen. Well, it's hard because we've had an idea that when you get older, you get to be the wise ones that tell them what to do. We have to be wise enough to get out of the way, to love them. Like, this is my practice with my grandkids. I want to tell them what not to do all the darn time. Can anybody relate to that? Yeah. They don't like you a lot when you do that. Baba's mean, they say. Yeah, because, I need to find the good and praise it. So I'm practicing. I'm practicing every day. I spent the weekend with them and we had fun. It was so much fun. So every one of us has a gift. Do you know what yours is? Because there's nothing made by accident here. And we are born at this time of transformation on the planet. Hallelujah. Or as some people would say, oh, joy, oh, rapture. So we each have a gift. It's important for us to know what it is. It could be like my grandson's gift is his smile that lights up a room, but actually his heart and his smile are big enough to light the world. He is an extraordinary love. Or maybe your gift is to be the most loving parent or partner. Or maybe it's to cure cancer or write a book that somebody's going to read and it's going to change their life. Or you're going to be standing on the street corner and catch someone as they fall. God knows what it is, but we all have a gift. And the more we open to knowing it, the more it flows through us. And that's how God works. That goodness of life flows through me if I let it. But if I need to be right all the time, well, I'm not going to see it. I'm going to be looking for the problems. Well, that's not where I want to live. I want to be part of the solution so that in 20 years, when my grandkids, when peace has broken out, because I believe that peace in my lifetime is the way it's going to be. When my grandkids turn to me 20 years from now and say, wow, how did you know what to do to let peace break out? How did you do it? What part did you do? I'm going to know that I gave my gift. Whether that gift was to meditate every day or pray. Or simply know the greatest good. You can be in a wheelchair and have this greatest gift. To know the greatest good for the planet. That energy, because we're all connected, that energy just ripples out there. You don't have to be rich, tall, thin, young, fit, fancy, nothing. You just have to give your gift, whatever it is, with joy, and not need people to recognize it. Not need recognition. Just give for the joy of what it feels like when it flows through you. It's extraordinary, like the music this morning, like when Jack sang, just like open up the canal here, the channel, and let it out. And that's what we're all born to do. And now is the time. Now it's always now, because the now moment is where it happens. Now, when you're right here, right now, you're not thinking about what didn't work and why you, such a little girl from a farming family and a pioneer family, should find a way to believe that peace on earth is supposed to happen, and she's got a piece of that peace puzzle. But I do, and I know it's true, and I know that Peace First, this little program from Ukraine, is a big piece of that peace puzzle. But I have to let it expand through me. I have to live it. I have to see what I love and love it more. I have to see what I'm afraid of and embrace it. And say, wow, okay, well, I understand. A new word emerged in our community in the past week as we study. And I'm part of a me and white supremacy class that the ministers of Science of Mind are taking. It's a kick butt class. It's changing our whole lives. And through this work, my virtual assistant, when I said, how could you be not racist? I don't like the word anti-racist because I don't like to resist things. It doesn't work. And she's an English major, and she said, how about embracism? I went, embracism? Oh my God, that is so fantastic. I have to embrace that. I have to embrace the racism in me. I have to embrace the fact that we lost our way. We missed an opportunity 200 years ago to do it differently, but maybe we don't need to miss this one. What if we embrace the challenges, the chaos that's here, and know that inside of it is the order of peace? What if we embrace our fear? I mean, it's terrifying to even begin to talk as somebody with white privilege, as we all are, because you can't not be in the system that we've raised in, to know that now is the time to make this change. We have a chance like never before in all of these ways to believe that we are healthy, to believe that every cell knows its being and we do not need to get COVID-19. It doesn't mean we don't need to wear our masks. Ernest Holmes said, treat and move your feet, for goodness sakes. But do the work and know that you're fine. That's a transformative thing. When the whole friggin' world, when the whole world is talking about how dangerous it is to leave your house. Don't feel sequestered. Don't feel isolated. Don't feel quarantined. Feel free to make the choices that set you free. So now is the time. But how do we do it? Well, that's each of us has to come to the how, and I'm wrapping it up now. So each of us comes to the how ourselves. My how is peace first. That's where I start. That's my home base. I remember that chaos brings me to order, and peace is like a handle that opens the door of my consciousness to a more responsive, more responsible, more open-minded way of seeing the world and living my life. It gives me access to the courage that's within me. I feel like an evangelist, as I imagine you can feel, because I just can't help it. I just can't help it. I have to staple my feet to my prayer mat to keep from going out onto the street and talking like this. Seriously, it's like my kids go, you can't do that now. That time is over. You don't do that anymore. This is Reading. Especially don't do it here. If you're going to do it, go somewhere else. We don't want to see it. So, vision for the future. Spend time every day imagining the life you want for yourself, your children, and your grandchildren. Imagine it. Fill yourself with that possibility. Because that's the only way it's going to get born. It's not going to be possible to come through if you're, it won't work that way. We have to immerse ourselves in this reality. And it's not hard. It's easy. It's just a choice. And the whole universe supports us. So visioning is a great tool. And I'm going to be teaching a visioning class in August. And and I want the whole world to come. Pray. Pray to be connected in your consciousness as you are truly, in truth, already connected. Treat to know that we are one, all of us. All of those people that you don't like their voices, you don't like to see their faces, you don't like to hear their ideas, or they scare the bejesus out of you. Treat to know that we're one. It's a huge, huge challenge. I still have to turn my radio off frequently. But nonetheless, I breathe and I choose to be in peace. And I let myself embrace the isms of my life. And I start again. And the last is cultivate possibility. Cultivate a new possibility. We are born, really the easiest analogy to remember how to live a empowered life is be a master gardener. Plant the seeds that you want to eat, have the jars ready and sterilized on the table outside the barn. Take the rocks out of the garden and build benches with them. Fertilize with all the leftover stuff. Just take everything that doesn't work, put it in the compost. You'd be amazing what roses can blow with those kinds of things that used to just drive you crazy. That's how it works. So it's simple. Give your gift. Believe in it. Choose it. Practice it. Peace is the principle. Practice by giving your gift, by being your gift. So I want to end with the poem my aunt, my favorite aunt, well, I shouldn't say I love all my aunts, but she and I were close. We were very close. And she was, I don't know, 75, and or maybe younger. And I had run away from my marriage and I had my kids with me, and she took me in. And in Canada, I'm Canadian. And so we wrote this poem one day near to Christmas time. And we each took turns writing a line. And so here's how it came out. If I can remember the beginning, because if I can't get the first line, I can't remember anything. We're all being called to live a new life, one that is free from struggle and strife. Impossible, you say, that'll just never be. Of course it's possible, through you and through me. This brave new world needs our vision and our hope to build up the strength and do more than cope with the stress and frustrations that fill up each day and keep us from knowing that love is the way. For love is the answer. It's our birthright. And of this simple truth, we should never lose sight. And know that it's written for the whole world to see. On earth, peace shall be. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barbara. So shall we consider that beautiful poem the
No,
end of your talk?
no. I
Okay.
have a little Ukrainian prayer.
Okay.
So just close your eyes, just 1 minute. This, stuff comes through me now that I can't deny, and so I just have to say yes. The words of this prayer means, and so it is. God gave me this as I was driving in a place of despair, a moment of despair. This came through to me when I was caught by the disorder and the chaos. I forgot, and I got this message. Itak olayet Itak olayet Itak olayet itak ona yes, 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 ona yes, ona yes, itak ona yes. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Barbara. Thank you, thank you. So after we're all done with everything, we stay on for a while. So if anybody wants to talk to Barbara, make sure that you stay on. If you don't, you could leave, but not yet.
I won't. I will stay on and I won't leave.
So let me pull up my PowerPoint again. And we're moving out of this one. So our gift of music this morning is by Pamela Kelley. So Pamela, go for it.
Thank you. I'm going to share a song with you this morning that's most well known by Karen Drucker, written by Michael Gott, and she added a verse. And this to me is an anthem for troubled times.
Yeah.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. When I lose myself, and when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. It's the love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Namaste.
Thank you.